Hello, this is David, and in this video I'm going to be sharing my opinions on Swim Record, which is a new mobile application that enables you to track all of your swimming times from all of your galas. It costs £2 on the App Store, and it's something that I've stumbled across recently that I found pretty useful, and therefore just wanted to share with you what I like about it and things that I think could be improved about it, and whether it's worth you getting in your campaign to become a better swimmer. So if you would like this video, I would very much appreciate it. Remember to follow and subscribe for more swimming content, but otherwise, without any further ado, let's dive right in to this review. So what I like about it is its primary function, and that is simply a record of all of your swim times across however long you've been swimming for. You can retrospectively go in and input data for as far back as you've been swimming. And the best bit is that it will then take all those times and put it into a graph for you to compare against, so that you can see trends in your swim times. So you can see whether you're getting faster or whether you're in a bit of a plateau, or hopefully not, but you can see if you're also getting slower too. And that's really valuable information to see, because you can see your rate of progress, and as a result start to make decisions on where you may need to improve things in training. And what's really cool about the app as well is that you can add a benchmark or a goal into each one of your graphs, so that you can see how close you are to achieving a certain time. So for example, my big goal is to swim a short course 100 meters freestyle in 60 seconds. So I've added that into the app, and therefore I get a nice line that shows me how close I am to achieving that. And naturally, what is really important is the separation of short course times and long course times, which this app does. It's very difficult to compare between the two, and putting all those onto one graph can skew the conclusions that you come to when comparing your swim times. Yes, it doesn't account for the differences in the quality of pool facilities in this graph, but that's something that's incredibly difficult to do, where it's difficult to adjust times based on various factors such as the quality of the blocks, whether you're swimming with a shallow end at one end, etc, etc. That is something that this app doesn't do, and is naturally something that no app is ever going to be likely to do, because it's really difficult to understand how these things impact our times. Nonetheless, it does enable the separation of short course and long course times, therefore giving us that ability to analyze our races better and not have it skewed by combining the two all in one graph. Then finally, the other thing that I really like about it is that once you put in all your data, it will pull out all of your personal best times, and once again it separates things out by short course and long course. So for me, it would give my 50 meters freestyle short course personal best and my 50 meters freestyle long course personal best, which again just adds another layer of interest and capability to your analysis. So with all those benefits considered, I think that Swim Record is a really good app for comparing and contrasting all of your various swimming times. However, that being said, I do think that there are some areas for improvement with this app. The first of which is the ease of editing. It took me quite a while to work out with several things how to go back and edit things had I made a mistake. And there's still one area where I haven't worked out how to make edits, and that is when inputting gala information, so the date that you competed and which pool you competed at. And as a result, it meant that I had to go back, delete the gala, re-enter the information, being careful that I inputted it all correctly, and then go back and put in all my times again, where I just think that if you spot that you made a mistake when inputting said information, you should just be able to go back and enter it. That was a little bit of a nuisance, and a pain. However, I think the app is pretty new, and as a result, I suspect that that will be a functionality coming into the future. The other thing that I wish was a part of it is the ability to add venues. Looking at the various venues, there's a pre-selected list of countries and venues, and as a result there was one or two that was missing, most notably Serbia, Belgrade, for my European Masters Championships, and as a result I've just had to put down a different country and venue, one that sounds similar albeit is in Slovenia as opposed to Serbia, which I just think would give greater accuracy. Some of the place names are based on the town, so rather than the venue being Ponds Forge, I've had to input Sheffield instead, which, because I've lived in Sheffield, I know that there are a variety of venues across Sheffield, and therefore, although Ponds Forge is the main one, I just feel as though it'd be better to get that accuracy in that regard. Finally, I think the aesthetics of it could do with a little bit of improvement. It looks like a very old school HTML type based app where it just has the simplicity of the data added into it, where I think that it could be made a little bit nicer looking just to support with that analysis. However, functionally it works incredibly well once you've got round to the nuances of it and have inputted all your data correctly. It would just be cool to see it looking a little bit nicer. However, if it's only in its beta stage, then again, what's important is getting that functionality correct up front before adding niceties such as aesthetics. So, is this app worth your time and money? And for £2, I would say so. It's very helpful in spotting trends and is a lot easier to get set up on a spreadsheet, where I've now moved across from my spreadsheet onto this app, just because it gives that convenience. Also, because it's on my phone and not on my laptop on a spreadsheet, it means that it's a lot easier to input times on the go, as well as look at times that I've previously done whilst I'm out and about, as opposed to trying to remember it before a competition by going over my spreadsheet. It just means I've got that ease of looking things up. And also I've just got that whole graph, which admittedly I could do on Excel. However, it's a bit of a pain having to update that each time, where this app does that automatically. So as a result of that, because it's easier to use than a spreadsheet and portable as well, I would say that this application is very much worth £2. That is it for today's video, and if you've enjoyed it, please give it a like. Remember to follow and subscribe for more swimming content, and to swim faster on limited training time, head on over to westcough.com. Otherwise, see you in the next video.